This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Suspect is still being pursued in Old Harbor mass shooting, says SSP Phillips. The police are still pursuing a suspect in the deadly mass shooting at the Jamaica Brawlers Group Plainfield in Spring Village in Old Harbor, St. Catherine last month. Commander of the St. Catherine South Police, Senior Superintendent Christopher Phillips, gave the update Sunday in his quarterly virtual town hall with residents of the division. He said several statements have been recorded, including from eyewitnesses. The name of the suspect was not disclosed. 9 persons were shot, 3 fatally, during the September 18 incident. The gunmen were reportedly targeting one of the deceased, who the police believe was implicated in a missing firearms scheme. 2 of the deceased were employees of the poultry company. 4 workers were injured. Phillips, along with the National Security Minister Dr. Harris Chang, Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson, and a team from Jamaica Brawlers, led by its chairman Robert Levy, visited the community on September 21. SSP Phillips also gave an update on the August murder of Chevelle Lewis, a 31-year-old pump attendant who was shot dead at the Petcom service station on Passage Fort Drive in Portmore. She was allegedly attacked by 2 men. Phillips said persons taken into custody over the case were interviewed and released. Several statements were also collected. Lewis was from the community of Compound in Central Village, St. Catherine. Meanwhile, in his overview, Phillips noted that the police division recorded 97 murders for the period January 1 to September 30, 2022. Some 88 homicides were reported up to September 19 last year. Approximately 46% of the murders were linked to gang feuds, and another 38% categorized as a criminal act. The St. Catherine South Police Division includes Portmore, a dormitory coastal community of over 300,000. The government is pushing for the municipality to be given parish status. Elderly man shot dead in Long Bay, St. James. The St. James police are probing the shooting death of an elderly man in Long Bay, St. James on Monday morning. He has been identified as 63-year-old Duke Palmer, otherwise called the Touch of Gold. Reports are that about 9 a.m., Palmer was seated on old tires in the area when he was attacked. A white Honda Fit motorcar reportedly drove up, and the occupants reportedly opened gunfire, hitting him multiple times. Palmer died on the spot. St. Anne churches and the Rastafarians protest the closure of Little Duns River. Several members of the church community in St. Anne, supported by a group of chanting Rastafarians, are protesting outside the Little Duns River in Ocho Rios, demanding the reopening of the facility. It was closed in September following a murder near the beach on August 31. Chairman of the Ocho Rios Ministers Fraternal, Hudson Taylor, said the groups turned out to express their dissatisfaction with the treatment of the property. "We are seeking for an amicable solution with the parties involved," he said. "As we are aware of the situation that exists, we have decided in our meetings that we will come out today and just show Jamaica that we are willing to be advocates for change and for development of the people. The church now has to become the voice for those who have no voice," said the pastor in the Church of God of Prophecy. He added, "We have no problem with development. We are for it, but it must not be done at the expense of the ordinary persons who is not able to afford other facilities that are costly. We believe that this must be developed, but it must also be accessible to the ordinary Jamaican." The property, known as Belmont, is owned by the government's Urban Development Corporation. A response has been sought from the agency. The UDC advised on September 1 that access to the property will be restricted to facilitate the police investigation. Members of the public are encouraged to adhere to the instructions of the police and the security officers and desist from entering the property, it said, noting that the area is not licensed as a public beach. For years, persons have used the property not only for recreation, but also for wellness purposes such as exercise. Residents have argued that Little Duns River was a suitable alternative to the pricier Duns River Falls. Don't blame Kingston Technical Administration for stabbing, says Williams. Minister of Education Favour Williams is appealing to the public not to cast the blame on the Kingston Technical High School administration over the stabbing death of grade 11 student Michian Campbell. Campbell was killed on the school's campus last Thursday by another female student. We have been hearing stories that there has been a lot of blame going on here, blaming of teachers, the deans of discipline, blaming of everyone, and I want to say to you, it's not the moment to blame, it's the moment for all of us to pause and to say, how can we make our school a safer place, she said. I see this morning when coming in that you have persons with metal detectors. Kingston Technical High School has metal detectors. It does searches. Despite all that, we were not able to stave off the stabbing. The education minister was speaking to students and the staff during her visit to the school on Monday morning. She was accompanied by guidance counselors, members of the clergy, and the principals from other high schools in the corporate area who went to support the school in their time of grief. She shared that her ministry will embark on a partnership with the Ministry of Justice to bring restorative justice to the school. I've reached out to the Minister of Justice. He has a program that we have been taking around into our schools, restorative justice, to help our students understand how you de-escalate a conflict situation when they arise, how you interact with each other peacefully, how you resolve a disagreement, how you speak to each other so that you can work together before it results in fights and arguments, she said. Adding, I don't believe we have taught you enough just yet about how to handle yourself in those situations. Recognizing that many of the students who attend the school are from volatile inner-city communities, Williams said part of the support her ministry will give the school will focus on helping students to employ conflict resolution in these communities. I know that many of you live in communities and in homes in which it seems as if it's normal to quarrel and to fight and to shout at each other, but I'm saying to you it's not normal, and we have to help you when you come to school to understand that there is another way that you can live and interact and have peace in your homes and in your communities, she said. Opposition wants the government to quickly pay money owed to security companies. The parliamentary opposition is urging the government to indicate a timeline for honoring its financial obligations to security companies. There is concern that several ministries, departments, and agencies might soon be without private security guards if the government fails to pay outstanding sums to security companies. The state constitutes 65% of business clients for security companies. At a media briefing last Friday, the Jamaica Society for Industrial Security disclosed that the cost of security services had increased by almost 50% since the court ruled that private security guards are employees and not independent contractors. It said some companies will find it difficult to meet their payroll as a consequence of this development. Opposition spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, told the news that the government should not allow the matter to be drawn out.
I'm aware that a number of these companies are owed millions of dollars by the government. I think it's going to be important for the government to indicate a time frame within which it can settle the outstanding amounts that are owed to the private companies so that they can honor their obligations to their workers. And by indicating that time frame, then the companies will be in a better position to indicate when they can comply with the ruling. So I think it's going to be important for the ministries, agencies, and departments that use the private security firms to work out a schedule and give that information to the private companies so that they can know that they can implement the new ruling that the court did in relation to how security guards should be treated.
On September 23, the Supreme Court ruled in a matter of the National Housing Trust versus Marksman Limited that guards engaged by security companies to provide third-party services are employees and not independent contractors. The ruling is applicable to all private security companies that engage security officers as independent contractors. Bar shooting caught on camera, off-duty cop challenges gunmen. A bartender who was shot several times by two gunmen at a bar on Seaward Drive, St. Andrew, has been hospitalized. The dramatic incident, which occurred in the St. Andrew South Police Division on Friday night, was caught on a camera at the establishment. It has since gone viral on several social media platforms. The two gunmen who fled the bar after the shooting were challenged by an off-duty policeman who engaged them in a shootout before they fled. It is not known if any of the gunmen were shot during the shootout. Senior Superintendent Kirk Ricketts, head of the division, said the incident occurred after 8 p.m. SSP Ricketts said the police are hunting for the shooters as they probe the attack. The video shows the two men walking into the bar where other patrons were sitting and the music was playing. One of the gunmen went up to the counter and said something to the bartender as the other gunman stood close by. When the bartender bent down to get something, the two men pulled guns and shot him several times in his upper back. The gunmen then fled with other patrons who were running out of the bar. At least one patron seemed too shocked to move, but eventually headed to the door as the video ended. Another bartender who was standing close to the one who got shot was not hurt. She ran from around the counter after the gunmen fled. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.